How's it, everyone? Hope you are having an amazing day. Welcome to How's It Cousins, the podcast where we talk about the unique people of the world and the interesting things they do. We chat, we relate to them, and hopefully we help you, our audience, relate to us as well and have a great time. On this week's show, we want to talk about the summer of 2019's biggest internet meme or the greatest thing to hit the internet this year so far, and that is the resurgence of one amazing Keanu Reeves.
How's it, Chris? Are you talking about Keanu Reeves? Yo, I'm down to talk about Keanu Reeves. Let's do this.
Aloha, Alvin. Thanks for jumping in to the Keanu Reeves podcast.
Yeah, man, I'm always down to do it. It's always fun. Let's do it.
Before we get into it, I want to remind everyone that we are broadcasting this live at twitch.tv/howsitnetwork. So if you want to jump in, interact in our chat, be part of the show, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, How's It Network. We post stuff live on when we're going to be filming, when we're going to be streaming, so you can join in on all the fun. If you like what you're hearing, this show will air on all the popular podcast services and be on YouTube. So check them out on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, whatever you like, wherever you like to listen to your shows, we will be there. Alvin, is there anything you need to plug before we get started?
Yes, my name is Aloha Alvin, and I'm working on a very big project, which has to be done by August. So please check me out on alohalvin.com. It'll be up. Heads up.
Be ready for August, guys. All right, let's jump into it. So we are anticipating the release of Toy Story 4 coming out soon, and the reveal of apparently the show-stealing Duke Kaboom, aka voiced by Keanu Reeves. This is on top of the recent appearance at E3 2019 by the star of Cyberpunk 2077, also known as Keanu Reeves. This is on top of the recent appearance of the acclaimed movie series John Wick 3,
yes,
who is starred by Keanu Reeves, and which followed up the amazing cameo in one show, Always Be My Maybe on Netflix, the rom-com directed by the folks who brought you Fresh Off the Boat, aka also Randall Park and Ali Wong. What am I talking about? Keanu Reeves.
First of all, Chris, so clearly you already laid it down. Whoever's listening already knows what's up. I was not aware that Keanu was in Toy Story 4. That kind of blew my mind. I just bumped into that on the internet. So I don't know if is that public? Is that like in the trailer?
Yeah, it's everywhere, dude.
Oh, dang. Okay, cool. All right, cool. For the record, and I'm pointing the finger at you, I was not aware that he was in Always Be My Maybe. I didn't know that. But he was so good in it. He was so good. Bruh, he was so ridiculous.
Okay. So, chat and show audience, a few weeks ago, I think he was even on this show or in the post show. You can go check twitch.tv/howsitnetwork, check it out, where I said, Alvin, dude, you gotta watch Always Be My Maybe, if nothing else, for the Keanu Reeves cameo. I mean, it's a pretty good Netflix movie in and of itself, but that cameo stole the show, let me tell you.
But that's what I mean. I didn't know back then either. You are the source of this. Either way, I agree. It was outstanding, and I hope that's a good thing. But it definitely, there was a moment of what the hell am I watching? Which is, again, still fun, but way outside the box.
So it's interesting to see that in 2019, we had 4 Smash appearances by Keanu Reeves in the same 30-day period-ish, where previously it was radio silence for a while, and all of a sudden he is the internet's hottest trend. People can't get enough of seeing him. They can't get enough of sharing it on social media. I will tell you, check this out. After Always Be My Maybe, some random person on Twitter made a new account called Keanu Reeves Walking to Music, which is at Keanu WTM. And what it is it's that scene from Always Be My Maybe, except they take out the song that was playing there.
I will say Twitter is fascinating to me because there are accounts that I don't really believe exist. I'm only slightly exaggerating. Let's say I worked in Building X. I know that there's an account for the flag of Building X. I'm like, how does a flag have a Twitter account? I know there are dogs that have Twitter accounts, and so I mean, clearly it's somebody being silly. But you know what? Thumbs up.
Okay, so what I was referring to, Always Be My Maybe, Keanu Reeves enters to AWOL Nation's Sail is the title of the song. Meep in the chat, he's done 3 pretty big projects this year. John Wick, Always Be My Maybe, Toy Story 4. You are correct, that's what we are referring to. So anyway, as I was mentioning, the Twitter account, Always Be My Maybe's scene, they have taken out the background music and they've recreated that scene with random other songs, and it's called Keanu Reeves Walking to Music. For example, I'm not going to play any of them on the stream because Twitch TOS,
Sure.
but now I've had the time of my life is one example. And then Forever Young is another example. Kokomo by the Beach Boys is another example. It's crazy. Like, you got to check this shit out at Keanu WTM on Twitter.
I have to assume that the Guile theme song is one of them. Just, it has to be.
I wish it was. It's not there, but you know what? We can make that and be fucking Twitter trending easily.
In Writerland, right, there's certain things that you have to do. And in certain cases, especially with romantic movies, romantic comedies, there's kind of a formula, and this is just a given. For instance, the main male character was dating, I'm just going to call her the weird one. I don't know what else to call her. And then, of course, surprise, the main female character is dating someone. That always happens. There's always like a twist to that. Now, the question becomes, who should the main female character be dating? Dude, never ever would I say...
Wait!
Oh, what's up?
Spoiler warning for anyone in the chat
come
or on the
man.
show.
I guess. I don't know.
We may be spoiling Always Be My Maybe, so if you haven't watched it yet, stop the podcast, go to Netflix and watch it, and then come back and talk to us afterwards.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's just like, for me, okay, the equivalent of this is Pepper Potts, Gwyneth Paltrow. You know, it could have been anyone, quote unquote anyone. And again, in this case, as someone who's watched a couple rom-coms, I'm not really a rom-com guy, but like, you don't expect action movie star guy to be in there. And yeah, it was pretty awesome, not gonna lie.
In the chat, actually didn't like the original song that he walked into.
Oh,
but he's always been an awesome person.
Nice. Okay. I don't
We'll
remember.
get into a little more of that later.
I can't even hum that song right now, being totally honest. I don't know that song.
It's okay. If you saw the scene, you can look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a little clip of it, and it's pretty awesome.
Okay, nice.
But yes, that cameo was great. And like you said, who should the female main date? And they're like, you know what? We'll just get Keanu Reeves. She's going to date Keanu Reeves. And not just Keanu Reeves, the actor playing a part. It was Keanu Reeves as himself.
Yes.
Which made it way better. Holy shit. That was hilarious.
I always wonder, like, who cooks that up? You know, like, does the guy who does the cameo, does he say, yo, put me in this? Does someone else say, I know a guy, his name happens to be Keanu Reeves? Like, I love thinking about that because it's so trippy to me.
Was super surprised that his cameo was rather long. It was great.
Actually, it was shocking. Yeah, it was.
Way long.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a walk in, hey, like, say some lines, walk out. Like, it just dragged and it kept going. And I say dragged, but it was great.
Yes. You know, it's funny because I was informed that there was going to be a Keanu Reeves, and I just assumed to be like, hey, what's up, guys? And that's it. Which still would have been pretty trippy, like, whoa, that's Keanu Reeves. But yeah, he was absolutely a part of that other scene as well, which is good stuff. Okay, so I will say this. I don't always like the music in movies. And of course, there are some songs I do like and I don't like. It'd Always Be My Maybe. It was awesome because at the end, right, there's that thing where it's like, I should make a song about punching him in the face. And then, dude, I love that song. That was awesome. That was a great song.
And then he raps a song about punching him in the face.
Yes.
Like, again, spoilers for Always Be My Maybe.
Nice. Yes. Man. Okay. And I will shout this out. It's funny because when I hear Always Be My Maybe, I instantly think of Mariah Carey. So I didn't know if that song was going to be in it, but that was nice too. That was a good song.
What do you mean, that it wasn't?
No, that it was in the movie. I didn't expect it. I didn't know if it would be. Clearly, it's a play on the words, right? So yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, of course.
But it was nice.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So, as we wind the camera forward a little bit, Always Be My Maybe was the first release of this Keanu packed summer. The next was John Wick 3. And as I understand, Alvin, you are a huge fan of John Wick 3 and
Oh,
John Wick in general.
yes. So I'm currently on a mini quest where I want to find quote unquote the best trilogy, or at least the trilogy that I love the most. I'm concerned that I may have forgotten about one or two, but when I think about it, I loved John Wick 1 and 2 and 3 like a ton. Now, there's an asterisk here. The next Mission Impossible has not come out yet. Deadpool 3 has not come out yet. But John Wick is way, way up there. I love them all. For me, it's like Mega Man at this point already. Clearly, there's a formula, and I love that formula. Give me more. Just take my money.
So, what is it that you like about the John Wick movies? I will be honest that I never got into any of them, but that's just one of those never started, so never continued type things for me.
Wait,
What?
did you see?
No, I haven't seen any of the three.
Oh, wow.
I just never got into it. So, what is it that draws you to those movies? Why would you say that you just love all three of them so much?
Okay, let's start with one. So I'm gonna just go with this, and you're kind of supposed to know this. So I'm spoiling one for you a little bit. It's also 3 movies ago, so I think we'll be okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
You can spoil whatever.
Okay, so the premise of John Wick is he's some dude in part one who wants to leave the life of killing. He's tired of killing. But then his wife dies and he's sad. The wife says, "Here, have a dog. Just love the dog, okay? You need to have an outlet for your love. I want you to love this dog like you would love me," essentially. So he's doing this thing. And then some thugs are like, "I want to buy your car because his car is quite nice." He's like, "Yeah, it's not for sale." And the thugs being a jerk to him. So anyway, those thugs follow him to his house and they wind up killing his dog. And after that, it's like, oh, it's on. It's completely on. And this is what made me fall in love with the universe. So the
Wait.
thug, okay, go ahead.
They kill the dog as that, and that's like the intro to the movie.
Essentially, yeah, that's how you get in there. It's dog.
Fucked up.
See, as a writer, I applaud it because it's not girlfriend, wife, mother, daughter. It's not a human. You know, it's an interesting twist. Now, there are probably other movies where they kill an animal and it's game on, but I'm not familiar with them. So for me, this one really stood out in that way. But here's the best part. So we don't know anything. All we know is some jerks killed his dog. So then we find out later, like, we see the thug, the young guy, he goes back to his family and stuff. And they're like, the hell is wrong with you? You know, one guy is like a mechanic because he likes to chop up cars. And that guy tells him, "Get out of my shop." And he slaps him. He's like, "Do you know who I am? You hit me. My dad will have stuff to say to you." You know, and the chop shop guy's like, "Yeah, tell him, call me. Tell him you killed John Wick's dog. Go." You know, and then later on, if the son calls the dad, "Yeah, I killed some guy's dog. Who cares? He's some weirdo." And then that's when you hear the whole speech, like, John Wick killed so many people. That's why we have money in our family. He killed so many people that he changed all these things. You know, like that. That's how an assassin can leave the assassin world. He kills that much. He kills that like intensely. And the beautiful part was when the father of that guy goes, "John Wick killed 3 people with a pencil." A fucking pencil. It's like you're sitting there like, is this, you know, like I don't know how real this is. And the other characters, they play it off great. So there's a part where more thugs come to his house and John Wick is like, "Oh, it's on now." So he kills everybody. They're all dead. And then of course there's a ton of noise. So then an officer is at the door and he's knocking on the door and John Wick's like, "Hey man," like they know each other, like, "Hey Steve," or whatever. He goes, "Hey John." And the officer's looking inside his house. He sees all the bodies. And then the officer's like, you working again?" John's like, "Nah, I'm just taking care of some stuff." "Okay." That's it. Like, that's it. That's the whole conversation. Like, I'm going to leave this guy alone to do his business. That's how dangerous he is. Everyone knows he's famous. He's infamous in the amount of killing that he has done and how efficient he is. So that's on the writer's side. On the action side, I guess, one of the things I love is like, there's this one movie where this guy has literally 6 bullets and each shot has to count. It's okay. It's an action movie, man. Bullseye 6 times in a row. You know, perfectly shoot that moving car 300 feet away with a ricochet bullet. Everything works. Like, it's silly, but you just enjoy because it's an action movie. Now, John Wick, the way...
Wait. We're not talking about missile parry, are we?
No, not missile parry. That's a good point.
Okay,
Not
okay,
missile
never
parry.
mind,
That's a
never
good
mind.
point. Okay.
For those in the chat that don't know, missile parry is a transporter. Jason Statham
Ridiculous.
doing ridiculously impossible things while being untouchable in movies. But anyway, sorry, continue.
Okay.
John Wick.
Yes. So one of my favorite things is, and you see it, the way John Wick holds a gun, the way he shoots people, it feels tactical. And I've done, quote unquote, some research on this. Keanu Reeves was trained. You know, he had pros teaching him. The way he reloads, the way he aims, all that stuff, it just moves smooth. It's beautiful. It's not just striking. There's also some grappling in there. The shooting is great. So there's a part where, okay, so like, if a hitman were to kill a guy, you just shoot him in the head. That's just how it works. So goes the hype around it. In this case, John Wick, he shoots a dude in the face. Like, there's no hesitation. It's quick, it's clean, you know, and you see it on screen. There's no diluting it. All of that stuff, it just flows, and it's just awesome.
So you would say that the consistency is what brings you back to that series because of the way the characters portrayed and the good action?
Yes, totally. I wrote an article about this on AlohaAlpha.com, and it's about violence, okay? So check this out. Say there's a bad guy. He has a gun. He points it at someone's head. It's an innocent person. We know what's going to happen, okay? So then it cuts to black. Blam! Now that guy's dead. We know he's dead. That's how it works. But if you really break it down, we saw zero violence. We saw nothing. We saw a black screen. That's all we saw. We heard a sound effect, and we saw nothing. John Wick, totally not the case. You know what? John Wick 3, very small spoiler. I think it's okay, and I think this will hype someone to watch it more, so it's okay. Anyway, there's a part where they're fighting and there's no guns. So there's knives, and there's the last guy or something like that. One guy left, and that guy has a knife, and he's fighting John Wick with it. John Wick grabs his wrist, and he points the knife at that guy's eye, and he pushes, and that guy fights back, because that blade is coming towards his eye. He's fighting, and he's fighting, and he's fighting, and then we watch a blade go into a man's eye, and then he dies.
What the...
Dude, I'm not exaggerating, man. It's pretty ridiculous. But I mean, like...
podcast. We just went into radar territory.
Sorry.
You didn't see it on the screen.
Yeah.
But that just happened in John Wick 3.
Yes.
No spoiler hashtag. There you go.
Yes. See that, like, it's stuff like that. You know, he owns it. He is a killer. It's a killer's world. You see how it plays out. It's fascinating. There's more, but I feel like I'm kind of monologuing. So go ahead, man.
No, not at all. So after hearing that, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not into just gratuitous action just for gratuitous action. That's just a me thing.
Sure.
Maybe I might like the series. Maybe I won't. Sure. I wonder if it's on Netflix or something where I can watch the first two. But we shall see. I still think it's a series that, for me, if I don't get into something, it's hard to re-get into it after the fact. But it could be possible. Maybe I'll jump into it at a later date.
I'll throw this at you like this then. So, without spoiling Avengers, because a whole lot of stuff happens in it, there's a part where Captain America is kicking ass. That's all. I'm just going to phrase it like that. He's kicking ass. It's a great scene. But that's not the whole movie. You know, there's all that other stuff. And I am clearly focusing on the hyper-violent sections of John Wick. There's other stuff too. The world building is masterful. It's masterful. The camera work is just great. Like, it's a well-made movie, you know? It's a Keanu Reeves action flick. There's a lot going on in a good way. I am clearly focusing on the violence. It's not just violence. I believe you'd enjoy it. If you enjoy most action flicks, I think this would be a good thing for you to see.
I do enjoy most action flicks for what they are, honestly. So, yeah, okay. I might have to take this recommendation because we did this show. I might have to just go and watch it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
But that's not the end of it. Because we'll roll the camera forward a little more. The next Keanu Reeves appearance in the summer of 2019 was in the Cyberpunk 2077 showcase on the Microsoft press conference at E3 this year. And it was nuts. It was absolutely crazy because what it was a pre-rendered demo of the game that was shot in CGI, so it's not actual gameplay footage. And you follow the main character who is kind of a no-name, but eventually he gets into some conflict, he fights his way out of it, and he gets knocked out or he escapes. Either way, the scene fades to black and you are awakened in sunlight to a person whose face you can't see at first, and he kind of grabs you by the arm and says, "Hey, we gotta go," or something to that extent, and you're like, "Holy shit, it's CG Keanu Reeves." Whoa! And to top it all off, right after that reveal, because it was the stinger of the whole trailer, they brought Keanu Reeves on stage at E3, and it was probably the first big celebrity reveal of the show, which we are waiting for because E3 has a history of doing shit like that. I don't know. To me, it was just awesome just because one, John Wick had just come out and now they're showing him off in a cyberpunk kind of futuristic, another violent type action filled game where he's kind of a major character, or so it seems. So I think it all plays together very well.
I will say this. We talked about E3 before, and it was like, what would you want to see? You know, so, okay, I'd like to see this. I'd like to see that. Nowhere in my brain did it say, I want Keanu Reeves on stage. So, in that same sense, like, part of the lose your mind moment is not expecting it. Because the flip side is, if you told me he was going to be there, I'd still be like, this is awesome. But yeah, I didn't know that I was going to be there. I didn't even know Cyberpunk was a thing. I never heard of it until this E3, actually.
Well, Cyberpunk was actually announced like last year, I think, but there was very limited
Yeah.
showing of what it was. So it was a futuristic type game, but you didn't quite know exactly what the point was. But what's funny about this year is I personally saw it out of order. I saw Always Be My Maybe the day before the Cyberpunk demo. And that was just random because I heard Always Be My Maybe was kind of cool. And I saw it the night before. I was like, oh yeah, cool, Keanu Reeves, hilarious entry, just like how we said. And then the very next day, saw the Cyberpunk demo. I was like, oh shit, Keanu Reeves is everywhere, he's following me. Whoa. And then, I mean, I didn't even see John Wick, but imagine if you saw all of those things in order to where you saw Always Be My Maybe because you read the internet article, it got good reviews, you saw Keanu Reeves, then John Wick, and you're like, oh shit, more Keanu Reeves, and then more Keanu Reeves. It's the summer of Keanu Reeves, my friends. Chat, audience, iTunes, whoever. It's the summer of Keanu Reeves.
It's funny to me because I felt that way about like The Rock before. And now clearly I feel that way about the Keanu thing. Like he's always in my face in a good way. Like, hey, look, there he is again. And part of me is like, this has to be an engine. It has to be cultivated. It has to be a engine as in intentionally cultivated public persona. You know, it has to be. And then I think, man, I don't know who's behind this, but well played. Sometimes you see a cameo in a video game and you're kind of like, eh. But in this case, pretty awesome. Not gonna lie.
I assume that Keanu Reeves has a publicist of some degree or some type of staff that works on this kind of shit. And knowing that these very major appearances would appear all in the same very short time frame must be on purpose. I cannot even fathom to believe that it was all coincidence. It must be on purpose. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. That's genius. It's great. I love every minute of it. Now, going one step further, that Twitter account I talked to you about a few minutes ago, Keanu Walking to Music, WTM, after the Always Be My Maybe parodies and then the Cyberpunk demo, they took the Cyberpunk footage and made more. And let's just say they're, ooh, heaven is a place on earth is one where they show his entrance to E3 to that song. And there's another, Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses is another one that they play it to. And it's hilarious. You gotta check it out.
See, in that same sense though, like, let's say Keanu Reeves was your guy and Dwayne The Rock Johnson was my guy. Do I call you and say, yo, this is your year? I'm gonna dial back this other thing? That's all. I just feel like right now the spotlight's all on him in a good way. So, and I agree. There's no way it's a coincidence. I feel like the tsunami, avalanche, etc. of goodness is planned. So, totally agree. For the record, the other part that makes me wonder though is like, let's say Keanu Reeves is your guy. So then you say, all right, Keanu, good job at E3. I have some stuff to do. Then you make the Twitter account and you start doing it because he's your guy. You know, like
that's fucking. Yeah. That's like a. Diabolical, in fact.
I assume it's a fan, but who knows, right? Like, we don't know who's behind that. So
I believe that when these kind of things happen, certain fans that are of the right mind will be quick to jump on those accounts as quickly as possible. I don't think that is planned.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think that someone that actually works in his staff or whatever you want to call it would do something like that.
Okay. I can see that.
Now that we're on the topic, roll a bit forward. Toy Story 4 is the next appearance.
See, I know nothing. What does the character look like? I'm assuming Duke Nukem.
No. The character he plays in Toy Story 4 is called Duke Kaboom. And he is very much reminiscent of Evel Knievel, motorcyclist. He's got a crazy handlebar mustache, but he's a toy. Like, all the other toys in Toy Story.
Yeah.
As I understand it, it's a very exaggerated persona of Keanu Reeves himself.
Nice.
And you can imagine what that's like, of course.
Yes. Good stuff.
And as the minor spoiler-free reviews are coming out of the movie, a lot of people are saying he steals Toy Story 4. Like, he is just that funny. Just like Always Be My Maybe to that degree.
Yes. So there's another actor who I won't name because I guess I'm dumping on him. But his whole deal apparently is like stealing the show. But for him, he's never the main. So for me, it's kind of like, hey, I feel like a thief. You know, you don't feel like someone I want to follow. Having said that, Keanu Reeves definitely has his own movies, you know, and I enjoy it. And he's also stealing the show. I think that's actually kind of trippy. I forgot where I read this. I think it was Arnold, but there's some big name guy who his publicist or maybe the actor himself said, I don't do bit parts. I don't care. I'm the main character or no. And I was like, oh, interesting. Because in retrospect, I feel like most of what he's done is, you know, so in that same sense, like, I like that Keanu can just do X amount of minutes in the entire movie and still love it.
So are you going to see Toy Story 4, you think? Because of the most recent summer movies that followed Avengers Endgame, we had a bunch of flops in Dark Phoenix. You saw that, and you can tell me later on if that was good or not, but definitely flopped in the box office. Men in Black International came out last week and also flopped. And there were a couple others that I don't even remember and didn't do all that great. I think there might be a little bit of a lulling out period after Avengers Endgame.
You know, I don't connect the two. I mean, I could totally see the argument for that though, right? Like if you could only see one movie in the summer, I know what most people would choose. Having said that, I think it's a different, MIB 1, loved it. I thought it was incredible. I've semi-dissected it. I really want to get into it and dissect it even more. It's a great movie. 2 and 3, and 3 I actually liked again. It was quite good. So when I heard about a new MIB, I'm like, dude, that's awesome news. But then I hear there's like no one returning unless there's a cameo I'm not aware of. You know, I thought so. It's not Tommy Lee Jones. It's not Will Smith. You know, all the names that I know are not in it. So part of me is like, I don't know. We'll see. I have to assume other fans as well as other people were just like, yeah, I don't know what that is. And they didn't go, which is unfortunate. I'm sure it's funny. But yeah, I've been busy. Haven't gotten to it either.
So we'll just real quick hot take. You don't have to go into incredible detail because that's not the topic of this show.
Sure.
Dark Phoenix, like it or didn't like it?
I'll say I liked it and I understand why people didn't like it. So there you go. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. We'll have to get into that. That's fine.
But the numbers don't lie. Avengers Endgame and the next closest one was probably, in my opinion, Aladdin, which did mediocrely but made a lot of money.
By the way, I enjoyed Aladdin, actually. I just thought it was fun. Just straight up.
So we'll see this weekend if Toy Story 4 brings in the haul like people think it will. According to the current set of reviews, it just might. And again, I will probably see it because I'm excited to see a good movie in the mid part of summer. And another Keanu Reeves cameo would be fucking great, let me tell you.
I will say that I generally know about cameos before I see the movie, for better or worse. The last time I didn't know was Stallone in one of the Guardians. I straight up tripped. Straight up. I was just like, are you kidding me? Is that really him? Because this wasn't spoiled 15 Ways to Sunday, you know? Can you name a cameo that you were shocked by and impressed by that wasn't spoiled for you? Like, how long ago was that?
Okay, so I will tell you most recently that I can remember, the cameo that I saw that was not spoiled for me was Matt Damon in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, I don't remember if that was spoiled for me.
That was hilarious.
That was so rad.
I saw Thor Ragnarok on opening weekend and it was hilarious.
Actually, I don't remember. That might be it too. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, Chris, I'll throw this at you. So it's definitely Adam Sandler. And then I want to say David Spade. And who's that other guy? There's certain people that always appear in his movies. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Adam Sandler, David Spade, Dana Carvey? No?
I might be confusing those two fellows. Sorry, guys.
I don't know.
There's a third guy. Okay, it doesn't matter. So, if you see an Adam Sandler movie, just give it a certain amount of time, and boom, you'll see his buddies in it. So on one hand, I know some people are like, bruh, shame on you, hire other people or whatever the argument is. On the other hand, it's kind of fun. You expect his buddies to be there and it's just silly. So Adam Sandler in 50 First Dates, he was visiting Oahu and his friend was one of the local people, like his friend, quote unquote, the character was born here. So like that, right? Like one of the side characters tends to be his friend. And I believe in general, he gets negative responses towards that. I'm not sure. I don't follow it that well. Now, the reason why I say that, and this is not a spoiler for John Wick 3, no comment on 3, but John Wick 2, so no spoilers, is old stuff. In John Wick 2, Morpheus is in it. I don't know if you heard about that.
I did not hear about that.
Okay. So that was kind of the deal. Like, oh man, it's happening. Get ready. Like Morpheus and Neo are in a movie again. And I remember thinking, oh, that's kind of cool, actually. I enjoyed them in Matrix very much so, actually. The trailer for 3 has a different person. Maybe I shouldn't clarify or say who it is. But yeah, same thing. And all I could think was, I'm okay with that. Like, who played Doc Brown? Emmett something, right?
Christopher Lloyd,
sorry. If Christopher Lloyd appeared in something, and look, Michael J. Fox, I'd be like, dude, it's fine. Just run it. I applaud this kind of activity. I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
So it's like the Seth Rogen movies, to where all that crew is in all the different movies. It's like the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, that crew has a bunch of movies together. So I think that if you like the group dynamic that they have, because a lot of them are friends real life, right?
Yes.
Then it would be entertaining either way. Now, to me, what you're talking about, putting Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves in another movie together is pure fan service. Because I don't know that they're really just chummy in real life, although there's another point that we'll get into later about Keanu Reeves. But, I mean, it's okay. I'm not saying that I don't like it, and I get why you would do it.
Right.
But I don't know that it's that cool. It's cool for like 2 seconds,
Correct. Yes. I'll agree to that. Okay, cool. Okay, so something else. Wait, don't forget your thing. Okay, I have one last thing that I definitely want to put at the end because it's good stuff. So, something else. Oh, what's up?
So, we can't go through a Keanu Reeves podcast without discussing or asking the question and putting you on the spot, Alvin.
Boom.
What is your favorite Keanu Reeves role? It is fine to say John Wick if it really is.
Yes.
So, let's discuss why.
Okay, that's fascinating. I'm gonna turn this answer on the side a little for fun. So I feel like John Wick's kind of a given how much I love him, and I already said how much I love that character and the world, all the world building, everything about it, even the people who handle the paperwork in the back. Awesome characters. I'm gonna go with 47 Ronin. Do you remember that?
47 Ronin.
Yes.
So I don't even know that I saw that in
Probably
theaters.
not.
I might have seen it on like cable TV at some point,
yes.
But yeah, okay.
Okay, so a couple things, and I feel the need to defend not just him, but the action in general. So some people would say, because you're redoing something or you have source material from something, you gotta copy paste. How dare you change anything? So one of the good things that I liked about 47 Ronin, first of all, I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a good movie. I don't know how other people felt about it, but I liked it. And second of all, it's interesting because someone would say, yo, that dude does not look Japanese. Shame on you for putting him in it. But in the movie, they even call him half-breed because he's half demon, half human or whatever. They reference him that way. He's treated as an outsider. And I'm like, you know what? If you want to play the race thing, that's actually the right play because then he stands out even more so. I can watch a movie regardless of casting, because I've learned I'm really bad at casting. Like, I'm really bad at it. There's plenty of movies where I'm like, I don't know about this character playing this, but it turns out great. And that was a movie I enjoyed. There's a lot going on in it. I call it a one quest. That's what I call it in my writing notes and stuff. That movie was a simple one quest. It was him trying to beat up bad guys. I'm gonna keep it real simple. And I thought it was fun.
Meep in the chat actually haven't seen most of his stuff either. Well, shame on you, because I'm gonna throw my underdog favorite Keanu Reeves role, and he's known to being an action star, like you said, 47 Ronin, John Wick, The Matrix, etc. Yes. But to be honest, my favorite Keanu Reeves role is Shane fucking Falco in The
In
Replacements.
Oh man, I don't even know that. Is that a football movie?
Shut your mouth!
I
Really?
know.
Oh my god! Oh! Stop the podcast.
Chad, I'm killing him. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm killing him.
Have you not seen The Replacements for real?
Is that the
It's
football
the
one?
one. Yeah, the football.
Okay,
one.
it is the one. Okay. Man, I don't
it's
even
where
remember.
the pro football walkout, and they hired a bunch of like walk-ons to take the place of them so they can continue the season. It's loosely based on an actual real life thing, which happened in the 1987 NFL strike.
No, I don't. I don't know it, man. There's plenty I don't know. See, okay. So we kind of touched on this in the Aladdin one, and I'm gonna Aladdin / Will Smith one. I'm gonna go here again with it. I can say I am a fan of Will Smith. I can just say those words. Oddly enough, even with my love of John Wick, I cannot say I am a fan of Keanu Reeves, which is terrible because I love so much of his work. I don't know why. I haven't seen that much of his stuff. I've seen some of it. Clearly, I love it. It's a weird mix for me.
But The Replacements.
I know. I just.
God.
You making it sound like it's one of your top 5 movies of all time, man.
No, it's not. But it's just a movie that, I don't know, maybe it was just a time period thing. It was, I mean, this came out in 2000, so that was when I was watching a lot of movies, I guess.
Okay. Whatever.
I guess.
Yeah.
But it's a great movie. But okay. Seriously, chat, audience, Shane Falco is honestly my favorite Keanu Reeves character, regardless of what anyone says. If you like Point Break or you like Speed, more power to you. But I really like The Replacements.
You know, in my head, he's not even in Speed. It's just some other guy. Like,
wait, stop.
No, I know it's him. But I'm saying, like, in my head, he's John Wick. He's slow energy and a badass. I don't even remember what he was like in Speed. I remember them being on a bus and they had to slow the bus down. That's about it. You know, it's terrible.
Speed was quite possibly Keanu Reeves' breakout film.
I think
it was
so.
the first movie that had a large enough budget and Sandra Bullock to which he could actually be the main star. I think per Wikipedia, it was his first really big starring role. Now, fun fact, Alvin, did you know that the female character in Speed was actually originally written to be African American and cast to be Halle Berry?
Okay. See, I would have been fine with that. Interesting.
I would have been too. Halle Berry declined the part. Now, following that, they rewrote the character as kind of a comic relief / sidekick to Keanu Reeves as the main character, and they wanted to get Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, wow.
For the part.
Oh, wow. That's quite a difference.
In researching this episode, Keanu Reeves appeared on the Ellen show for another promo of another movie he was doing, and Ellen's like, hey, did you know I was supposed to be in Speed with you? He's like, what the fuck?
Trippy.
It's super crazy. And also, on that same show, they played a clip to where Ellen had interviewed Sandra Bullock like maybe half a year prior and tried to grill her about Speed, and Sandra Bullock's all like, well, you know, Keanu, he was really cute, and like, she's like, oh, so you kind of had a thing for him, and Sandra Bullock's like, well, maybe, and Ellen's like, wait, so you guys, and she's like, no, actually never, no, and Sandra Bullock, so honestly, Sandra Bullock is like, you know, despite what people may think through the movie, and we have been through many movies since, like, we never like had a thing. We never dated. It was never a thing like that. And that's probably why we're able to stay such good friends throughout the years.
That's cool. Okay. I'm going to throw this down. Not the same animal at all, but I just had to think about this. So Mariah Carey sang Hero. That's a very, very big song. It's one of my favorites. I love it. That song was pitched to Gloria Estefan, and she said, no, I don't want to sing that song. And I forgot I don't remember if she said she was kicking herself or if someone else said, but man, that was a huge opportunity that she let slide. It's like, oops. So fascinating to hear these other casting things. You know, I never would have known that if you didn't tell me.
Kuroy in the chat, Keanu had a crush on Sandy as well during Speed. That's a true statement. In that same Ellen interview, Keanu Reeves like, well, apparently she didn't know I had a crush on her too. And Ellen pointed out that, you know, maybe that was the chemistry we saw on screen, which is why Speed did so well in that maybe as young actors, you guys did have those feelings for each other, and it showed.
Nice. I see. I didn't. Man, I barely knew any of that. I knew Sandra Bullock was in it. I knew Keanu Reeves was in it, and I should be able to name the guy who put the bomb on the bus, but I don't remember his name. That guy's a big
Not
name too.
important. Fun fact, I'm going to jump back to the replacements for a second. Maybe I have to reorder this in the show.
No problem.
In the replacements, Keanu Reeves actually took a pretty decent pay cut to ensure that they could get Gene Hackman to play the coach on that movie. He's been known to do such things. Now, Sandra Bullock in Speed describes him as a true gentleman. Like, there was a scene where I guess the bottom of the bus falls out, and all she was concerned about was that her dress didn't blow up. And while they were both acting on screen, he made special care to ensure that that didn't happen. He's known as one of the nicest guys in Hollywood. Have you heard this, Alvin?
I am not familiar with that. The only stereotyping in that sense or whatever categorizing that I know of is Tom Hanks. And I have no clue if he's actually nice. Keanu Reeves being a cool dude, totally believe it. Everything I've seen, like behind the scenes wise, he just seems like a nice, quiet, gentlemanly kind of guy. Pretty awesome.
So there's a clip of the Joe Rogan podcast that aired maybe a year and change ago, in which Joe Rogan even claims like, dude, everyone should be more like Keanu Reeves. Everyone I meet that says that they encounter Keanu Reeves, nobody has ever said a bad thing about him. You know, there are some people you encounter and maybe you have a bad day and you rub people the wrong way, but I've done a bunch of interviews and fucking nobody I've ever talked to has a bad thing to say about Keanu Reeves. So you know what? Everyone should be a little more like Keanu Reeves.
Fascinating. Wow. That's pretty nice. I didn't know that.
If you search on YouTube, there is a video which has 6 million views that says, quote unquote, proof that Keanu Reeves is the nicest guy in Hollywood.
So I watch stuff on YouTube, whatever that is, and then YouTube says, yo, if you like that, you might like this. Of course, that's how YouTube rolls. And one of them is about Keanu Reeves. I'm like, okay, I don't know, whatever. So I click on it. Keanu Reeves apparently loves motorcycles, like really loves them. And this is that thing where you see it in like a sitcom or some kind of comedic thing, whatever, where there's the super badass on screen and then you see him off screen and you're like, oh, that guy's just an actor. None of that's real. But apparently Keanu Reeves, whenever he's riding a motorcycle, that's him. Like, period. I will spoil this. I think it's okay. It's in the trailer. There's a part where in John Wick 3, he's on a motorcycle. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And then I saw the behind the scenes. So it is Keanu Reeves riding a motorcycle. But in this case, because, okay, so like if I was walking a tightrope, if I were to fall, I'd be severely hurt. So underneath me would be a safety net. Now, in a similar sense, when Keanu Reeves is on a motorcycle, he has a safety net, but it's not under him, it's above him. So just in case things go haywire, the I don't know what to call it, the harness, I guess, will keep him from hitting the ground. So in that sense, I'm like, good. First of all, keep him safe. That's good. Second of all, dude, it is him. You know, I think some director was like, God, I love working with him. It's great. Because you know why? It's always him. We don't have to do some weird ass angle. We don't need to. It's his face because he's doing it. And I'm like, man, that is awesome. But yeah, that YouTube video of Keanu Reeves and motorcycles, it's food for the soul, man. It's so nice. He loves it so much. He loves what he's doing. You just hear him talk about it. I'm not even a motorcycle guy. And I watched this video. I'm like, damn, that's awesome. Once again, everyone should be more like Keanu Reeves. Good stuff.
To kind of jump on what you're saying, the same YouTube video, now I can't prove this is true. I'm pretty sure there's an Entertainment Weekly article about it, but in that same video that I was referring to, it talked about how Keanu Reeves, being a motorcycle fan, as you describe it, he actually bought Harley Davidson motorcycles for all of his stuntmen in The Matrix 2.
Oh, I did not know that. That is awesome.
Because he's such a motorcycle fan, and you know, I guess a bunch of them like motorcycles too. And his comment to the, why did you do that? He's like, well, you know, these guys risked a lot for me, so I just wanted to repay them and thank them in the best way that I could. So that's what he does. He's also noted for often buying lunch for crew and set on the movies he's on.
Nice. Man, that's awesome. That is
so
nice.
To continue this story, I don't know the exact city now, but he was flying from LA to another city in California, Northern California, and the flight got diverted to Bakersfield, and they had to make an emergency stop. And there was no other flight out of Bakersfield, so they had to take a bus to continue the way that they were trying to get to. Now, Keanu Reeves could have at that point used his star-studded status to try to get like a private car or some kind of helicopter, whatever the fuck way that rich people get out of those kind of situations and get to where they gotta go really quickly. But Keanu Reeves decided that he was gonna go hang out with the other passengers on the flight and
man.
try to calm them and be like, hey,
Man.
guys, we're gonna get on the bus like I was in that movie Speed, and we're gonna ride here and it's cool. And he was like talking to all the different people, and he rode the bus with them all like however many miles to that other city, and the whole way he was on his phone like narrating like, hey, this is Bakersfield, California, and it is a population of this. He was being a complete like, he was trying to entertain the crowd as he can, like that's his ability, that's his what he gives to society. And that's what he did in a time where people are stressed, where people need that kind of escape to get through their troubling times. He decided that he's going to provide that to these people instead of trying to take the stars way out.
That is an awesome story. I will say, for me personally, if I'm in a situation like that, I try to crack a joke or something, to help alleviate a little bit. But that's like an Aloha Alvin joke. That is not a Keanu Reeves monologue. That is awesome, man. If I was on that bus, I'd be like, dude, this is awesome. Just thank you.
One more fact to pile on to the end of that is that Keanu Reeves actually set up a cancer charity for a number of years and did not reveal it to any type of media or anyone. His comment was, my sister Kim had battled leukemia for more than a decade, so I wanted to have something available that will give back and stand up to cancer and support cancer research. But I didn't want my name tied to it to give it that type of popularity. I just wanted to have this charity and set it up myself and let it do what it does. So for many years, that thing was going and nobody knew. And he only revealed it relatively recently, I'll say. But I will tell our audience that I tried to Google what this charity was and I still can't find it because I'm pretty sure Keanu Reeves decides not to reveal it. It's just some cancer charity out there that he set up and he supports that I don't even know exists. And if you donate to it, then that's great, but I wouldn't even know where to tell you to donate. So what I will say is, if you support that kind of cause, please do. And do what you can do and give what you can give to what you believe, because Keanu Reeves is an example of someone who also does with the resources that he has and does not use the fame to overpower it.
I did not expect to learn so many things about Keanu Reeves, and yes, there you go. My response is yes. Yes to all of that. That's awesome. So I'll start again by saying I do not know how to cast well. I'm not that guy. So I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Keanu Reeves Batman. I could get behind that. I could be all over that. Be it the old school Batman Begins style or the current, we want to be darker and edgier, whatever. I could totally get behind that. Thoughts?
I don't remember. Did we talk about this before?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe that's where my subconscious picked it up. I don't know. It's possible.
I forget, but with the newest Batman being cast already as Robert Pattinson,
that still blows my mind. But then again, I'm
it's crazy. I'm on it. I'm with it. I think it could work. But now that you mention that, I think Keanu Reeves could totally pull off Batman. Yes. And I'm going to throw a crazy anecdote out there to support this, even though it's kind of unrelated. I watched a video recently that was Keanu Reeves answers questions and plays with puppies.
I didn't click on it. I saw that thumbnail. How was it?
It's fucking hilarious, honestly, because it's like him being Theodore Logan, playing with puppies and answering questions. He's like almost like perma-stoned, but
oh jeez.
But it's great though because it feels genuine.
Yeah, totally.
It is my point, right? And what I'm saying is that I'm not saying Batman's stoned, but I feel like that kind of grittiness and his ability to play that stoic role, just like Neo in The Matrix, would make for a good Batman, especially because he's older now.
Yeah,
he can play that old grizzled ass Batman. So if somebody out there just saying DC, if you want to cast the older than Ben Affleck Batman, I think Keanu Reeves would be a great choice.
Totally agree.
Well, we want to thank everyone out there for joining us this week on the episode of the podcast where we got to jump into the internet meme that is Keanu Reeves Summer 2019. I will remind everyone that we are recording this live at twitch.tv/howsitnetwork. So if you want to jump into our chat like many people have, thank you Meep, thank you Kuroy, and interact with us and be part of the episode, you can follow us on social media at House It Network, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram to see when we are going live and when you can have some fun with us. If you like what you are listening to, the episode will air on all the popular podcast services and premiere on YouTube. So check us out on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and anywhere you want to listen to your podcast services. I keep forgetting to do this, but howsitnetwork.com is somewhere where you can find the collection of all our work and every single guide that exists where you can support what we are doing.
And if you like that Alviny goodness, please visit alohaalvin.com. I'm working on a very big project. It has to be done by August. So, hey, check back, check again. I write on that site and I write like how I speak. So if you enjoyed me today, I'm sure you enjoyed the site.
And if you want to hear more crazy shit from me, I am at HowsItChris on Twitter. Normally, I am tweeting about the latest trend or the latest thing that I am thinking of, or maybe just posting some memes online. But whatever comes to is a lot of fun. We want to thank you for lending us your beautiful ears. And just remember, it is not goodbye. We shall see you later.